Hey, it's Soul, and today we're going to talk about managing alts because that's so much fun. I'm sure you guys have a number of alts and have been working on them or have maxed them out already and are already well on your way, but if not, or heck, even if you are working on them, I got a couple of tips and tricks and guidelines and what have you to kind of help you guys along. Now, this is not gospel. This isn't the how-to guide, you must follow things in these steps in order to succeed sort of thing, but hopefully this will inspire like kind of a game plan, a direction to go when you want to start managing all your alts. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have your main, and by your main I'm not simply talking about, hey, this is my most progressed to, this is the one that I raid or PvP with the most. I'm talking about things like achievements and that sort of progression. You probably don't want to care about progressing into the Broken Isles Pathfinder achievement, on 7 or 8 tunes. You're just going to focus on one. And at least with what I'm about to tell you, you're not going to be doing hardly any of that kind of focus on any of your alts. So once you have that decided, go ahead and take your alt stable and, well, just start getting to work on leveling them. And you can do this a number of ways. Like if you haven't already, make sure that you get on all of your tunes and make sure that they're acquiring rest experience if they're not already. Keep in mind that, well, off the top of my head, it takes 10 days to acquire a full bar and a half of rest XP. And if you really want to, although I don't really recommend it, you can go to the Grand and farm up old treasures and do old quests for some extra experience before you go over to the Broken Isles. Now, it's not a lot. I think it's about half of what it was in beta, but it's one thing that you can do because over in the Broken Isles, you're not going to be doing a lot of questing once you get through this video. So if you happen to have a lot of alts, you might want to kind of split the work around so you're not wasting rest experience. You level up a couple of levels on this tune before moving on to the next, and so on. You can do stuff like that if you really want to. But you want to keep in mind that you want to hit 102 so you can unlock the other artifact spec things. You do want to focus on finishing your Order Hall campaign because unlocking that third relic slot is still going to be important. As for questing in the other zones, you don't want to focus so much on completing an entire zone and doing that sort of thing. You've already done that. Well, maybe you've already done that. Actually, you should have already done that. What's wrong with you? Anyway, you're not going to do that much questing on your alts. You just want to make sure that in each zone that you get to friendly with each of the major factions. And just keep focused with that for now. Get the reps up, get the artifact weapons, don't do a whole lot of questing. You want to take care of these things first. Once you do get all the factions to friendly, you probably have progressed through the Order Hall campaign some, and you're probably at 104, 105, maybe a little bit higher, probably a little bit higher based on rest experience. From there you have a choice, and hopefully you have a good amount of Order Hall resources. Like I said, you do want to get those treasures and rares, and it's worth it. It's not worth waiting till level 110 to do the rares and the treasures so you can get better gear or possibly more artifact power. That's whack. Just go ahead and kill the stuff now. But anyway, once you're at level 100 and something or other, you got your factions up, you can complete missions in your Order Hall that give the experience bonuses. Those are going to help a whole lot. Once you have a stable of tunes that are at that level where you can just kind of switch from tune to tune or even use the app to just knock out a whole bunch of missions, that, by the time you reach that milestone, your life is going to get hopefully a little bit easier. But you'll probably want to do a combination of both, a little bit of questing here and there, a couple of missions elsewhere. You might have to go out and do these kinds of quests. You might be going out to quest not even just to get experience, but to get some Order Hall resources. So let's fast forward a bit. Yeah, you're so awesome. Yeah! So the only thing left is to unlock World Quest. So of course you have to go to Suramar, get to Friendly, and then you're good. You have a lot of different options that you can take at this point. It just depends on what you're using your alts for and what you want to do with them in the end. Your first priority though is to have the Order Hall resources necessary to maintain the things that you need to do. And I'm talking about the Order Hall perks, those talent things, as well as artifact knowledge. So you'll need like a couple of thousand or so a day in order to maintain this stuff. And Order Hall missions, duh. So world quests are going to solve all your problems. It's just a matter of prioritizing, the right things that you want to do. Of course, you want to finish your emissary quest first, so hop around, take care of those things. But the things you want to prioritize is acquiring gear, so, these world quests are easier, getting Order Hall resources, and then getting artifact power. For your alts, you can consider artifact power as something a little bit lower on the totem pole. Reason being is because with artifact knowledge, you'll be able to catch up relatively easy compared to your main. And that pretty much covers the endgame part for max level. It's, you know, it's very similar to your main. You just have to, you know, do this little bit of maintenance and then you're okay. If or when the time comes that you want your alt to become your new main, or, you know, something that you want to focus on, and that's when you're going to progress deeper into Suramar, unlock, you know, those things, and then feast on that sweet artifact power that those quests offer, as well as doing all the other world quests that give you artifact power. Even smoother, once you have a nice groove with your tunes, you can kind of sit back, you know, since emissary quests only, you know, you only get one emissary a day, and thanks to the app, you just need to switch from tune to tune, you know, do a couple missions here, pick up this, train these guys. That's pretty much it. One thing that I forgot to mention, that I'm not going to edit it and put it back towards the beginning of the video, I'll just leave it here, but I want to point out that on your main, if you happen to be a tank or a healer, or, well, if you're able to access the call to arms cache thing that you get, you know, from doing those dungeon queues, the artifact power that you get from those little baggies, those are account bound, so you can send those to alts and what have you to kind of get a nice little boost when you're leveling, or even when you're not leveling. So hopefully this this vomit of tips and words that I've been saying makes some sense, and it helps you guys level a little bit better, more efficiently, or otherwise just kind of makes your lives a little bit easier. If you enjoyed this video, like and sub, and if you have any other tips or tricks or anything like that that you have to contribute, leave them down in a comment below. Otherwise, I'm out of here for the day. I'm gonna fail at getting legendaries and, you know, wiping on more bullshit. And I'll see you guys next time when I bitch about how expensive everything is now. I'm Soul. Stay breezy, guys. So fucking expensive.